Rwanda became the world's first nation to literally own the Champions League. They've been making millions for years by paying top players just pennies. And this hug explains everything. This is one of the rarest moments in football history. Sergio Ramos, the man who spent 15 years trying to kick Lionel Messi off the pitch, is pulling Messi into his chest. First training session for Messi at Paris Saint-Germain back in August 2021. The world's eyes are on Messi, but look at Ramos's back. 2 words stitched between his shoulder blades. Visit Rwanda. Not Qatar, not Emirates, but Rwanda. A landlocked East African country most viewers couldn't find on a map. That Visit Rwanda logo has now appeared on the back of Messi, the GOAT himself, Neymar, Mbappe, Ramos, David Luiz, Bukayo Saka, Mesut Ozil, Di Maria, Griezmann, and Aubameyang, just to name a few. And in the 2025-26 season, Rwanda became the only country on Earth simultaneously sponsoring multiple semi-finalists of the most watched club football tournament in the world, the UEFA Champions League. Here's Rwanda's president Paul Kagame sitting beside Nicolas Sarkozy at the Parc des Princes during a 9-goal thriller between PSG and Bayern Munich. The next night he was in Madrid sitting beside King Felipe VI, watching Arsenal draw 1-1 with Atletico. 2 cities, 2 nights, 1 country's flag on 3 of the 4 teams on the pitch. In a massive win for the tourism campaign, both Visit Rwanda partners made it to the final. The results are staggering. Rwanda is now generating over $500 million every year through its tourism sector. The irony? They're spending roughly 1,000th of what the Gulf states do, making it feel like Rwanda bought the entire Champions League for just $1. So, how did a tiny nation with the GDP of a mid-sized American city, without outspending or outbidding anyone, end up with more brand exposure per dollar than Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE combined? This is the insane story of how Rwanda planned and executed one of the most successful sports advertising campaigns in modern history, building a robust business empire behind the scenes that most people never see, with an ultimate plan to turn these partnerships into a billion-dollar annual cash cow within a few years. We'll even go deeper to uncover how profitable this model really is compared to other nations. And crucially, look at the controversy behind the plan. To understand the whole thing, we have to start with one man and his favorite football team. The president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, has been an Arsenal fan since at least 2009. He told a Ugandan journalist that year that his son, Brian, and his daughter, Ange, both supported Arsenal like him. He's tweeted about the club for over a decade. When Wenger left in 2018, Kagame called it a poorly handled ending. When Arsenal lost 0-2 to Brentford on opening day in 2021, he wrote 3 tweets in a row criticizing his own team. We must not excuse or accept mediocrity. A team has to be built with purpose to win, win, win. CNN ran it as a headline. So did the BBC. This shows how the president himself is invested in the team. By 2018, Arsene Wenger has just left Arsenal. The Premier League has introduced sleeve sponsorships for the first time, a small square of fabric on the upper arm of every shirt, now available for sale. Most clubs sell theirs to insurance companies, banks, or betting firms. Arsenal sells theirs to a country. Kagame's government saw something nobody else did. On May 23, 2018, Arsenal announced the Rwanda Development Board as its first ever sleeve partner. The Western media reported the deal at around £30 million over 3 years. Then the Rwanda Development Board's CEO at the time, Claire Akamanzi, tells CNN the deal is actually less than £30 million and declines to give the exact figure. That ambiguity matters because Rwanda's entire strategy turns on one principle that contradicts everything Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE are doing in the same years. The principle: do not overpay for the absolute top. Here's the 2018 Western news broadcast that ran when the deal dropped. EU lawmakers on screen demanding answers about why a country receiving development aid was paying a Premier League club for sleeve space. Rwanda's answer was simple. It's not a charity, it's a tourism board. It's buying impressions. According to Arsenal's then commercial chief, Vinay Venkatesham, an Arsenal shirt is seen roughly 35 million times per day globally. Multiply that across a Premier League season. Multiply it across 3 years. The cost per impression collapses to fractions of a cent. Just look at the sleeve. Notice those 2 words flashing around the Emirates. Remember Aubameyang lifting the trophy back in 2020? Visit Rwanda was right there, part of the glory. The Year 1 stats told the whole story. A 5% spike in UK tourists and £36 million in value generated. It was all the proof Rwanda needed that the investment had absolutely paid off. Arsenal was never their final destination. Arsenal was the proof that the plan worked. The real play was bigger. By 2019, the Rwanda Development Board had spotted something nobody else was talking about. Paris Saint-Germain was in financial trouble. PSG had just paid 222 million euros for Neymar and 180 million euros for Mbappe in 2017. UEFA was breathing down their necks over financial fair play. To avoid a tournament ban, PSG needed to prove they could generate real market value, commercial revenue, independent of their Qatari ownership. They desperately needed another major sponsor that wasn't Qatari. Rwanda walked in first with a brilliant piece of foresight. By 2019, Neymar was already in Paris. Rumors were swirling about Sergio Ramos, and planners at the Rwanda Development Board recognized a clear pattern. PSG's owners had an unstoppable appetite for global superstars. They predicted the club's massive growth trajectory well before Messi even arrived in 2021. Armed with this brilliant analysis and leveraging PSG's urgent need for clean commercial revenue, the deal was signed in December 2019 between Rwanda and Paris Saint-Germain. SportCal reports the original PSG training kit deal at around $12.5 million a year. The partnership was designed as an immersive lifestyle and destination marketing ecosystem, more than just a logo placement. Pitchside LEDs, men's training kit, post-match interview backdrops. The strategy gets creative by replacing all stadium tea and coffee with exclusively premium Rwandan-grown blends, offering fans and VIP investors a literal taste of the country. Annual heritage match days, featuring made in Rwanda art, music, and fashion. Visit Rwanda on the sleeves of PSG's women's pro team, and across the Atlantic on the training kit of every PSG academy in the US and Canada from 2025 onward. The logo goes on the warm-up tops worn by Neymar, Kylian Mbappe, and within 2 years, Lionel Messi himself, as Rwanda foresaw that level of top athletes before. While most people think this partnership was limited to TV visibility and stadium LEDs, Rwanda's real strategy was conquering social media. That's exactly how the ultimate celebrity viral moment landed. That hug from the opening shot clocked more than 30 million views on YouTube alone, pulling in hundreds of millions more across Instagram, X, and TikTok. Having 2 of the most famous players on the planet carrying Rwanda's logo on their backs generated the kind of massive digital footprint that will keep recirculating for the next decade. Then the campaign moved from the screen into the real world. In 2022, PSG flew its stars, Sergio Ramos, Keylor Navas, Julian Draxler, and Thilo Kehrer, straight to Rwanda. Suddenly, you had Ramos walking through Akagera National Park. Leo looking up in awe at wild elephants and trekking deep into the mountains to get up close with the country's famous rare mountain gorillas. But the deepest impact happened back in Kigali. You watch a 12-year-old kid grab the mic to hit Ramos with a serious tactical question about defending.
Who was your favorite footballer when you were younger?
Keylor Navas.
Right before this little girl asks how he handles the crushing pressure of walking onto the pitch.
How does it feel to be on stage?
It proved this was never just a passing PR stunt. Today, PSG runs a permanent academy in Kigali, and Bayern Munich runs one too. The sleeve was the showroom. The academy is a long game. With the blueprint proven, Rwanda scaled the strategy even further, breaking into a third major European league. In August 2023, they partnered with German giant Bayern Munich, a deal worth around 5 million euros a year, primarily Allianz Arena LED branding, plus the FC Bayern Academy in Kigali. Though today, they've restructured to focus on the FC Bayern Academy in Kigali. Then, in April 2025, they conquered La Liga, locking hands with Atletico Madrid as the club's first ever African partner. That partnership put the Visit Rwanda logo across the back of both the men's and women's match jerseys through June 2028. 4 leagues: Premier League, League One, Bundesliga, and La Liga. One country's logo on all of them. Then came the moment that made history. In the 2025 to 2026 Champions League, all 4 Visit Rwanda partner clubs reached the semi-finals together. Arsenal, PSG, Atletico, and Bayern Munich. First time in history, a single tourism board appeared on multiple semi-finalists in the world's biggest club season. Now, it's worth noting that Bayern's role is a bit different, focusing on that permanent youth academy rather than jersey or LED branding, but the alliance remains rock solid. Notice who's missing from that list: Real Madrid and Barcelona. Rwanda never signed either. Why? Real Madrid's main shirt with Emirates is worth around 70 million euros a year. Barcelona's main shirt sponsors run between 70 and 90 million. Rwanda's combined annual spend across all 4 of its European partners sits between $35 and $45 million. For roughly half the cost of one Real Madrid shirt sponsorship, Rwanda got brand presence on 4 elite clubs across 4 of the 5 biggest leagues in Europe. They didn't fight for the front of the shirt. They bought the sleeve, the back, the training kit, the pitch side, LED, every piece of inventory that the famous clubs didn't bother to sell expensively. Then they let those clubs compete for trophies on Rwanda's behalf, which brings us to the ultimate question: what does Rwanda actually get for all that money? If you look at the major headlines like the explosive reports from The Guardian marking the conclusion of their historic 8-season run with Arsenal, or watch the deep dive breakdowns covering the latest developments of the strategy, it's easy to assume the narrative is straightforward. But believe me, almost everyone has got this exit completely wrong, and I'll show you why. Before we break down the massive controversy that kept the football world talking, let's first uncover exactly how lucrative the deal was in the first place. Now, let's look at the full picture. In 2017, the year before the Arsenal deal, Rwanda earned $438 million from tourism. National parks brought in $18.7 million. The MICE sector, that's meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, the corporate side of travel, generated $42 million. By 2025, total tourism revenue had climbed to $685 million, up 56% from 2017 before the Arsenal partnership. National park earnings more than doubled to $40.8 million. Guerrilla tourism alone generated $248 million in linked travel spending. Visitor arrivals hit 1.49 million people in a single year for this landlocked nation. Most interestingly, the visitor profile flipped. In 2017, the biggest spenders were business travelers from the East African region. By 2025, North Americans were spending more in Rwanda per quarter than Europeans were spending all year. Over $51 million from US and Canadian visitors in a single quarter of 2024. When we zoom out, we can see the sponsorship didn't start Rwanda's tourism climb on its own. What it did was lift the ceiling on who Rwanda could attract. Listen to this New Zealand tourist standing in Rwanda. He says, I think the main thing is just kind of reminded me that Rwanda was a place you could visit. I think that some people will think of Rwanda and they'll think of, the 90s. And so it kind of became an option again. That's the real product on Ramos's back, not a logo, a correction. According to the RDB, before the Arsenal partnership, 71% of Arsenal's global fans didn't consider Rwanda a tourist destination. After one season of branding, that figure dropped to 50%. After that massive marketing where Arsenal literally brought its top-tier stars down to Rwanda, including Aubameyang, Hector Bellerin, and Bernd Leno, where they named baby gorillas at the Kwita Izina ceremony, with Aubameyang even filming a casual haircut inside a Kigali barbershop. And here David Luiz tracked gorillas in Volcanoes National Park, whereas Tony Adams went on safari, all happening in Rwanda. Each visit cost Rwanda only a fraction of their standard marketing budget while generating millions of organic impressions across social media. But football was never the final business model. It was simply the billboard for a much larger economic strategy. That bigger business has a name, mice, the meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. In 2017, mice generated $42 million for Rwanda. By 2025, $94.7 million, more than doubled. Kigali is now the second most popular conference city in Africa, behind only Cape Town. It's clear proof that the massive advertising push worked, especially when you look at the wave of high-profile global summits Rwanda has hosted since the campaign launched. The events stack up fast. June 20 to March 22, the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, drawing leaders from 50 of 53 Commonwealth countries to a single week in Kigali. November 2023, the World Travel and Tourism Council, Global Summit, the first ever held on the African continent. In December 2024, Rwanda hosted the FIA General Assemblies, and Kagame used to formally launch Rwanda's bid to host a Formula One Grand Prix. Then in September 2025, the biggest one, the UCI Road World Championships, cycling's biggest annual event in its 103-year history, came to Africa for the first time ever. Over 1,100 riders, 109 countries, a projected audience of 330 million viewers, all watching the mountains of Rwanda. Every delegate at every one of these events books a hotel, eats in a Kigali restaurant, rides in from the airport. And every one of them was told beforehand that Rwanda is the country on the Arsenal sleeve. Foreign direct investment has also surged since 2017. Then in 2025, global news outlets reported the same headline. The Arsenal-Rwanda partnership had ended following years of fan pressure over Rwanda's alleged support for M23 in eastern DR, claims that UN reports confirmed and the Rwandan Defense Forces eventually acknowledged as a defensive mechanism around its border. But here's where things get even more interesting. Neither Rwanda nor Arsenal stopped or suspended the partnership prematurely. Instead, they simply agreed to conclude it at its natural expiration date, and both said exactly that publicly. Most people assumed the pressure from Arsenal's fan base forced Rwanda out. It did not. The agreement reached its agreed maturity date, no premature exit, no forced conclusion. Then came the second assumption that Rwanda lost. They did not. In fact, they were already cooking up a new strategy that's even bigger than the Arsenal deal. Let's visualize it for a moment. Arsenal is a European club. But from the early years of the Visit Rwanda campaign, tourists arriving from the US and Canada were not just growing in number, they were spending significantly more than their European counterparts. Rwanda read that data and began shifting strategy toward the North American market. Some may question the timing, but the sequence is hard to ignore. If a European club ending a Visit Rwanda deal over human rights concerns had genuinely damaged Rwanda's appeal, American sports franchises would not have signed on within weeks. They did. That was not a coincidence. It was all deliberately planned. Here's it. In September 2025, Rwanda became the first African country to sponsor NBA and the NFL teams simultaneously. Officially, Visit Rwanda landed in Los Angeles. Jersey patch sponsor of the LA Clippers at Steve Ballmer's new Intuit Dome. Multi-year stadium sponsor of the LA Rams at SoFi Stadium, which is owned by Stan Kroenke, the same American billionaire who owns Arsenal. You see the pattern. The same billionaire, Stan Kroenke, owns both Arsenal and the LA Rams. And it is worth noting that Arsenal and Rwanda announced the conclusion of their partnership 2 months after Rwanda had already secured brand space in the world's most profitable market, the US. The goal is clear: turning these partnerships into a multi-billion-dollar revenue machine over the next few years by establishing Rwanda as an undisputed luxury hub on the continent. Here's how they're doing it. First, they prepared their music's most flagship product, gorilla trekking. They doubled the gorilla trekking permit price from $750 to $1,500 in 2017, making it the world's most expensive permit to see gorillas in the wild. Beyond the standard trek, Rwanda also offers a private exclusive trek, a fully private tailor-made experience at $15,000 per group. The most premium option, a 3-day behind-the-scenes experience of 3 people, costs $30,000. A premium low-impact conservation model. According to Rwanda Development Board, gorilla visits alone generated $248 million in linked travel spending in 2025. Second, Rwanda raised its hotel standards from generic hospitality to ultra-high-end luxury, the kind previously reserved for Europe or the Gulf. Rwanda is now home to Africa's most expensive hotel room, the one and only Gorilla's Nest. Its top suite, the Silverback, 2,700 square feet, private pool, dedicated butler and chef, runs between $20,000 and $26,000 a night in peak season for 2 guests. On top of that sits the conference infrastructure, the $300 million Kigali Convention Center, its $100 million entertainment twin, the BK Arena, 5-star hotels, including the Kigali Marriott and Serena Hotel. These venues bring in millions of dollars annually through events, summits, and international meetings. The third piece is ownership of the visitor journey itself. Rwandair, the national flag carrier, has grown from a fleet of 12 in 2017 to over 16 aircraft today, including Airbus A330 Edges and Boeing 737s. Direct routes now cover London, Paris, Brussels, Doha, Dubai, Mumbai, Johannesburg, Nairobi, Lagos, and an expanding African network. The focus is deliberate, high-income source markets. And 25 kilometers south of Kigali, Rwanda is building a brand new $2 billion international airport in Bugesera district. Rwanda partnered with Qatar Airways, which holds a 60% equity stake in the project. This is not a Qatari outpost, it is a regional hub. By 2032, Rwanda wants to compete directly with Nairobi and Addis Ababa for transit traffic. The Visit Rwanda brand on European jerseys and American stadiums is exactly what makes that hub commercially viable, because passengers transit through airports whose host cities they already recognize. Football was always about the airport. PSG and Atletico remain partners through 2028. Bayern Munich has restructured. Stadium branding ended in August 2025, replaced by the FC Bayern Academy in Kigali, a youth football program for Rwandan children. Now zoom out and look at the cost. Saudi Arabia poured over $5.3 billion into LIV Golf. Qatar spent over $1 billion on PSG player transfers alone. Abu Dhabi bought Manchester City and turned it into City Football Group, now valued at roughly $5 billion. Across the last decade, the three Gulf states combined spent hundreds of billions on sport as statecraft. Rwanda spent, generously estimated, under $300 million over the same period. By 2026, Rwanda's brand was on 3 Champions League semi-finalists in the same season. None of the Gulf states could say the same. The difference in one line: the Gulf bought clubs, players, and tournaments. They became the story. Rwanda bought space on someone else's story. The sleeve, the patch, the pitch side, L's, ED. Rwanda left the trophies and the wage bills to somebody else and only paid for the seconds when the cameras were already pointed at the field. A country slightly smaller than Belgium with a per capita GDP of around $1,000 walked into the most expensive advertising marketplace on Earth and bought visibility at 1,000th the cost of its Gulf competitors. It put its name on the backs of the most famous footballers of our generation. By 2029, Rwanda is targeting $1.1 billion in annual tourism revenue, 2.5 times what it earned in 2017. Whatever you think of the politics underneath it, the marketing math is history. One of the most efficient sports advertising operations ever attempted by any country in any era. There's another story just like this. An African nation that built something significant entirely on its own terms. This is Deep World Stories documentary. Thanks for being with us.